What's going on, Covenant fam? I know it's been a minute since you guys have heard anything from me, and my deepest and sincerest apologies. But I filmed like a couple of videos, actually, like three of them, and deleted them because it's like I have certain things to say, and then in one video I'll say something and then end up forgetting, and something, then I'll delete it and then record a whole new video and then forget what I said in the previous video. So it's just been a lot, but like I haven't been in the best like headspace in a while, and it just all kind of plays in together. Obviously, I'm on the truck, I'm back at work, and it's just been a lot. I didn't have the best return back to work. My co-driver decided to do some shady stuff. Well, ex-co-driver now. So I have a different co-driver on a completely different route and all this stuff, which ended up working out better for me, to be honest. But there's just something in me that I'm not really feeling anything right now, and it happens out here. This is like a perfect time to talk about mental health and stability, because even though you have a co-driver, and this is how, like, I don't understand how some drivers can be solo. Like, I get it, you want your peace, you want to be by yourself, you want to be able to run the truck however you want to run it, and that's fine, and that's understandable completely. But at the same time, it's like, on the other end of the spectrum, like, you're also alone with your thoughts. And when you're having those bad days, those deep thoughts, those inner feelings that kind of start to eat at you, you don't really have anyone to outlet to. Like, yeah, you can call your family and your friends and, have entertainment, whether it be music or shows when you're on your 10-hour reset or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you can do those things to fill that void, but at the same time, like, is it really filling it, or is it just patching and distracting you for a little bit in order for you to kind of have some sense of release? So, like, having a co-driver, you kind of have someone to kind of like talk to and like delve into, like, not only what you go through, but what your co-driver may be going through. And if they're up for sharing, if you're even up for sharing, you can kind of pick and choose, like, how you lead the conversation, right? But at least you have someone to converse with. And it kind of helps with these, like, moments. But even still, like, you still have to deal with those, like, inner battles of missing your family and wanting to be with them and wanting to, hang out with them, go to dinner with them and do all this stuff. And it's like, you're so far away and you still got, to think about the bills to pay and the rent or the mortgage and all this stuff. And this is why I advocate so hard for couples, like our married couples, our married teams, our engaged teams, just relationship teams, and also those that don't have children, because you have a sense of more freedom, so to speak. Like, yeah, you can get like babysitters or like daycare or your family members and pay them a little something, to watch the children while you and, your significant other are away, making that money, gaining those miles, and spending that time together. And you're both contributing to the same household. It is amazing. But for those that are in relationships or significant other teens, married, engaged, or, just standard boyfriend, girlfriend, and you have children, it's like you constantly have those concern strings that are being pulled at and trying to figure out, like, are they okay? Are they missing us? Are we not giving them something that they're craving as our children? There's that unspoken connection, that unwritten connection that you have as parent and child, that they're going to need you on a level that no one else can fulfill, not even grandma or grandpa or auntie and uncle or cousin, things like that. And it's like you're in this constant pull, mentally, emotionally, financially, of like what type of position you need to be in order for it to all work out. Something is going to suffer. And it's so mentally and emotionally draining on you, which then starts to attack your physical, and like your body hurts, and you just feel tired all the time. Your body feels heavy, you feel sluggish, and it's like all these things play a factor into what could happen or what can go wrong. Yeah, I'm like tossing all over. So anyway, it's a lot to think about. And so, and then me just having the baby and not being there is like such a toll on me and my husband. And it's just, there's so much going on up here, and me being the only one that is the breadwinner and things like that. So it's like I come to these thoughts of like, if I were to go home and be home on a family front, we would suffer so bad financially. Like, it would just suck so bad. But me being out here and winning financially, like, my home life is suffering so bad. So I find myself in this horrible position of trying to do both. And it's like, you really can't. You can't. And I just try to make the best of it. But then I have these moments of just being drained, of thinking of every possibility. Every possibility that I can think of to figure out a solution. And there really isn't. So I try to do my best and hang in there as much as I can. But I mean, you guys really have to have a handle on how you feel before you come out here, what you're gonna do, as far as your home situation before you come out here. Like, mental health plays a major factor in being out here too, that a lot of people do not think about. They just think about, I'm gonna go to truck driving school, I'm gonna make money, I have thousands, be able to pay off my debts, and be able to just live this great life. Is it possible? Yeah, it is. But do you have children? How much debt are you in? Is it beneficial for you to sell your home or to break out of your lease or wait till your lease is up to live in your truck? Everybody's situation looks different. And if you're only coming out here just because of crazy buku money, that's not a good reason to come out here. Yeah, we make money, but it also depends on your lifestyle too. And a lot of people don't think about that. And the money out here isn't what it used to be. I'm just going to be honest. I keep it 100 with you guys on this channel. And the money's not what it used to be. There's a lot more regulations out here. We can't drive past a certain time. We got to take a break at a certain time. We got to do this and that and all these things in order for us to comply, but yet it's like you guys are now digging in my pockets too, because I don't feel tired. So why do I gotta stop for 10 consecutive? Why can't I drive 16 hours if I'm up and wired for 16 hours? Let me get that money, versus you telling me after 11 hours you can't drive no more, that you just can't do it. And I get, like, fatigue is a real thing, and it's like, you as a human being and an intelligent human being need to know what your limits are. And if you're out here and you pushing yourself and you think, oh, I could go one more hour, if you know for a fact that you're tired, and I do it, I'm up sometimes when I'm not supposed to be up. I'm gonna just be honest, right? When it's my turn to drive, I got 11 hours. So 11 hours from that time, I may be too tired. I may be falling asleep after my first 6 hours of driving, right? But I'm going to tell myself, let me get somewhere where I at least could take my 30-minute break. Maybe if I get a 30-minute nap, then I'd be good, right? And I've done it before. So I make it to my 30 minutes. I sleep for 30 minutes. Well, there's been times to where I've overslept and slept way past even my 14 hours, right? So then there's an issue, because now I didn't get as far as I needed to go. I wasn't able to drive my full shift, right? There's been times to where I slept for 30 minutes. I woke up, got back on the road. It wasn't enough. So within like the next hour, 2 hours, I'm falling asleep again. So it's like, there are certain things that sometimes it works on one day and another day it might not work. So with that being said, we should know when our limit is, when we had enough. And if you can't judge and gauge off of that, then I suggest you don't push yourself to that brink. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you have to know when to call it quits. And that's why it was regulated for us to only be able to drive 11 hours, and then we got to stop, because drivers were not being smart enough to pull themselves off the road when they're tired. Like, I understand you got to make that appointment, you got to get there, but guess what? You decided not to go to bed. You couldn't sleep. You decided to push yourself past your limit, and then now you're falling asleep behind the wheel and you crash. And if you get enough drivers to do that, here we are with them having a kindergarten rule us and say, because you can't make the decision to pull off, we're going to tell you when to pull off, which affects other drivers' pockets, because there are other drivers out here that know better. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now it's like we're playing this game of, we have to be regulated because other drivers are not being smart enough when to stop. And it's telling me my phone is too hot. I'm gonna have to end this video soon. But I don't understand. Let me see if I can take it out the case and it'll hopefully stop telling me it's too high. Here we are, regulated, and I get it, but at the same time, it's not fair to those drivers that know better, that know when their body has had enough. So it's like, it's a lot that goes into this. So it starts to play into your mental well-being, and mental health is important. I don't care what anybody says. Oh no, that's crap. You're fine out here as long as you got this and that. You got a phone, you could call your family. Talking to them sometimes does alleviate, I should say, or relieve. I tried to combine the two words together, and I don't think that works. Anyway, sometimes it does alleviate the burden of being away, talking to them. You're like, oh, well, at least I got to talk to them, and it was a good conversation or whatever. I know they're doing okay. But it doesn't fulfill you being around them. So talking to them is completely different than being around them. Like when I talk to my husband, yeah, it's good to hear his voice. It's great. I love it. We have great conversations majority of the time. And, we could laugh and joke and do movie quotes and this and that or whatever. It's funny, right? But as time goes on and we're talking on the phone, I'm picturing me sitting next to him on the couch, me laying on him, me, you know, making him dinner, and us eating a meal as a family, and it starts to take a toll. Then I start to get sad because I'm not there. So it's like, yeah, it does work to talk to them, but then you start getting in your feels about having to not be able to embrace that feeling of being with them. And to hear my kids in the background, my son, he's 6, and is that mom, and it just hurts and it breaks me to hear him, wanting to talk to me or wanting to see me, or him wanting to know where I am. Where are you, mom? And I'll tell him, oh, I'm in, Texas. And he goes, oh, that's far. Yeah, baby, that's far. My 13-year-old, and him being at home, and, him being in his room and wanting to talk to me. And, he'll ask me, when are you coming home? And I'll tell him, well, I'll be home on this day. And he goes, oh, okay. And just to hear the tone in his voice of almost like disappointment, it just sucks. It really does. And then my baby, my baby that I just had, hearing the baby when my husband is holding it and playing with it, and to hear it babbling and babble talk and things like that, and me talking to them, and just picturing me being home, holding it and kissing it, changing its diaper. It's a lot, and it takes a toll for sure. And I know that I have to be out here. I have to be out here. But at the same time, it's like, am I really cut out for this continuously? So I say all that to say, get your mental together. Have everything in place. Build that strength of being away and understanding why you have to be away. But it's not going to completely disappear, these feelings. And that's a lot of the reason why some drivers can't make it out here. And they want to go local, and they want to do all this stuff. But local doesn't really pay all that well. It pays, and some companies really will, and they will make up for it by paying cent per mile and on duty, and a few of the things that you have to do, any on duty time, anything like that. So they make up for it in other ways, but in my opinion, it still doesn't pay. And I've looked into different things, and not for myself, so I'm not leaving Covenant, just to kind of do the research, to stay up on, what's offered out there, what's not offered out there. And it's a lot that goes into it, a lot of research, a lot of sacrifices. You give up so much being OTR in order to be local, but you gain so much being local that you're not going to get because you're not OTR. So it just really depends on what you're looking for and how you expect it to fit your lifestyle. So mental health is important, and I can't stress that enough. So I hope this video didn't deter anyone, but I hope it also brought awareness to what you could possibly face out here, what most drivers do face out here, as far as mental and emotional health. So until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. Bye.